Hey guys, I'm Easy Maths and welcome to another video. In today's video, we'll be talking about the quadratic formula. It's a continuation from my last video, which was about factorization using two different methods. So when not to use the quadratic formula? Basically, when you can apply any of the other two methods I taught you in the last video, either splitting the middle term or the difference of two squares. So when looking at splitting the middle term, in the first question here, you can easily see that the factorized form would be x plus 4, x plus 3. If you can't see this quite quickly, either because you're still learning, you're a beginner, and if not, if you think you know how to factorize but just didn't have time to do it, go back to my last video because you need it. It's easy, fast, quick. It really is efficient. And same for the second question. This should be a quick x plus 7, x minus 7. No working out needed. So yeah, these two cases, straightforward. Just solve it with any of the two methods. But now let's go on to when to use the quadratic formula. So, with the quadratic we have here, x squared plus 3x plus 1. If we try to approach it with the splitting the middle term method, we would write our a, b, c. I'm writing it for the video purposes, but when you get the hang of it, you shouldn't write it. So let's see, a times c, 1 times 1. So we have two numbers that have to multiply to give us the value of 1. And those two numbers have to add up to give us 3. So it doesn't require much thinking to realize that no two numbers will satisfy these needs. Therefore, this method does not work. No. Big cross, no. Simply because the splitting the middle term method doesn't work for every quadratic. That's just the fact, because they can't always be split. Does that mean that this can't be solved? No, absolutely not. It can be solved, but by using the quadratic formula. So, if you've never seen it before, it might be quite overwhelming. But don't worry, because you'll get the hang of it, and at the end, it's not that bad. So let's start. X equals minus b. All of this, guys, with the values that we have on the coefficients on top, a, b, c. Plus minus, which I'll explain later, b squared minus 4ac. And all of that, we divide it by 2a. So this might just look like a whole mess, complex, lots of numbers, lots of variables, but it is actually not that bad. So, as I was saying, the plus or minus just means that you're going to have to create two equations, one being plus, one being minus. But before that, we're going to see what values we have to substitute in for A, B, and C. And I'm going to give you the values, and then if you want, you can pause the video and try to do it yourself. If you still need a bit of practice, stay with me, because I'm going to do it shortly. This question is quite simple values, because A equals 1, B equals 3, and C equals 1. Again, if you don't understand this concept, go back to my last video and you'll get the hang of it there. So, as I said, we have two different equations that we're going to have to make, purely because we have it can either be plus square root b squared minus 4ac or minus square root b squared minus 4ac. So, let's start off with with the positive, with the plus. So we have our x1, let's call it, equals minus 3 plus square root, and then we have our 3 squared minus, and for the purpose of the video and for you guys learning and actually seeing what's happening, I am going to write minus 4 times 1 times 1. Although, as you probably know, if you're doing this, you really don't have to write these ones out because, yeah, they're pretty straightforward. Anything times 1 is what it originally was. Over 2 times 1. Again, you could just leave that as 2. Okay, we've done it for x1. And don't think that for x2 it's much more work. Basically because every single thing stays the same. Instead of that plus sign turns into a minus, a negative sign. But apart from that, again, we have our square root of 3 squared minus 4 times 1 over 2 times 1. So, when we finish this, we are basically done. Most quadratic formula questions are solved on a calculator, purely due to the fact that there you have quite messy numbers that aren't easy to work with. So yeah, you would probably input this onto a calculator. Some have a built-in feature, but it's always good to know what the calculator is actually doing for you. And so therefore, I've rounded to 2 decimal places, the values that I obtained from my calculator, and got that x1 equals minus 0.38, rounded to 2 decimal places. And then for my second value of x2, I got negative 2.62. And this is it, guys. You've learned when to use the formula, how to use it. But then, for the real mathematicians here, the question remains, why? Why does it happen that for some quadratics we can split the middle term or do other methods, but for some we just can't? Well, the key mostly lies in the square root part. Why? Because as you probably know, you can't square root a negative number. That's the first thing. That's clear. And you also can't square root every number, because square root of some numbers are irrational. And with the demonstration one that we had here, I'm just rewriting it out fully. The square root of 3 squared minus 4 times 1, which is the same as the square root of 9 minus 4, which, voila, is the same as the square root of 5, one of the most common irrational numbers. So yeah, since 5 is an irrational number, you can't work with it, you can't. So that's why also I've rounded our answers to 2 decimal places, because most of the times these, won't be exact or won't be accurate. So now you know the why, the when, the how. So this is all I have for you in this video. I hope you've enjoyed. Hope that everything was clear. Please do comment in the comment section if you have any questions, if you have any future ideas of what you want me to do. As of now, I think you've probably learned the 3 ways to factorize. There's some more advanced ways, but yeah, these should give you a good, solid foundation. So yeah, share this video with friends, family, and comment what you want me to do next. So yeah, see you in the next video. This was all from Easy Maths. Bye.